back po. Welcome back to Lira in Law. Today, the 4th of July, and if you haven't voted, you should vote. Pangalan po, Lira Simon Kapatbat. I am your host. Every Thursday, live broadcasting from London, England. Mag-uusapan po natin any kind of legal concerns that you have, and of course, with always a practical swing to things nga, no? And tonight is no different. Pag-uusapan po natin immigration and medical help, no? Mainly, ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon is access to the NHS, National Health Service, no? Now, yung nga sabi ko kanina, 4 years ago, we had this horrible pandemic. It was clear then, it's still clear nga ngayon, that most of the treatment in the United Kingdom is provided by the NHS, the National Health Service. Now, it's often confused nga kung kung entitled nga kayo to NHS care, so ibig sabihin libre o hindi ba? No? Dahil hindi man lahat tayo buton, hindi din lahat tayo meron settled status or indefinite leave to remain. So yung pag-uusapan po natin. Umpisa, ano bang ibig sabihin? The NHS. NHS, of course, as most of you would know, means the National Health Service. No, it's defined actually by the government website. Sabi nga dito, basahin ko, no? It refers to the government-funded medical and health care service that everyone living in the United Kingdom can use without being asked to pay for the full cost of service. Now, but there are many conditions to that, no? So obviously not everyone living in the United Kingdom would be entitled to NHS care. So, who can use the NHS without paying? So tingnan muna natin, because it is actually not quite as straightforward. So NHS, unlike the original definition of binigyan nga nila, is actually not free for all to use, no? Unang-una, starting point po nyo is whether you're going to pay for treatment, for NHS treatment or not, is the type of treatment you are seeking, no? So, yung kailangan nyo, you're looking at two categories. Una, primary care. Pangalawa, secondary health care. Okay? Now, primary care is mainly, I suppose, it's the starting point o kaya emergency. Visiting your GP. So, kung kailangan nyo pumunta sa doktor nyo, you registered with your doctor nga, that's primary health care. So, ibig sabihin, you are entitled to that. Now, unlike what a lot of people think na you need to, wala kang visa, for example, or limited visa ka nga, you need to pay for GP under the NHS. Hindi po. No? Primary health care, main difference between primary health care and secondary health care, primary health care is free of charge, okay? Excluding, of course, prescriptions nga. Whereas secondary health care, which is often provided nga by hospitals, some would have to pay for secondary health care, okay? Now, what also constitutes primary health care would be, say, may emergency, accident and emergency treatment for most people. So, ma-aksidente nga kayo, kung ano man ang visa nyo, kung wala kang visa, that would be considered primary health care because it's an emergency nga. So, primary health care is free. So, yung nga, GP, kung may britong kayo, o kaya meron kayong indefinite leave to remain, o kaya wala nga kayong visa, o you are here as a spouse with limited leave to remain, o nandito kayo sa student, primary health care is free. Okay? So, kung kailangan doktor, yun. Primary health care will be free. Now, if you need more than primary health care, so sabihin natin, napunta nga kayo sa doktor nyo, sabi nila, you got a fracture, sabihin natin, no? Napilay nga kayo, you need then to go to have, say, some treatment nga, no, for your broken bones, or some physio, no, to try and get better. Yung tawag na yun, which is mainly provided nga by the hospital, but not always, is secondary health care. Now, that is when you need to go to the next stage, no, to assess nga, libre ba yun sa inyo? Are you going to get, are you able to access care via the NHS, which would be free? So, una nga, as I say, ano bang kailangan nyo? Anong problema? Primary ba? Primary healthcare or secondary? Sabihin natin, you've established it's not primary healthcare anymore, it's secondary. You need physio or something like that. The next thing nga na kailangan yung tingnan is, are you then, or rather, yung hospital nga, titingnan nila, are you what's called ordinarily resident in the United Kingdom? And this is, again, a tricky bit. Now, sabihin natin, British nga kayo, no? Matagal nga kayo dito ka nga kayo pinanganak. British nga kayo. So, pero nakatira kayo sa ibang bansa. Sabihin natin, nag-retire nga ako sa Pilipinas, no? Bumalik nga kayo dito, binibisita nyo nga anak nyo. Sabihin natin, may nangyari, na-aksidente nga kayo. Tapos, with that, you needed secondary help. Now, it could be, that you're not entitled to NHS care, even though you're British, because you're not ordinarily resident in the United Kingdom. Okay, let's look at that, no? So, ang definition of ordinary residence in the UK, according to the NHS, is, and let me just read that to you briefly. A person is ordinarily resident if they are living in the United Kingdom lawfully, voluntarily, for settled purposes, as part of the regular order of their life for the time being, whether for a long or short duration. Okay, so you don't have to be here for years and years and years, but dito nga kayo nakatira. So, if you're not British, sabihin natin indefinite leave to remain nga kayo, no? Then kailangan yung pakita meron kayong indefinite leave to remain in order to be considered ordinarily resident in the UK. Iba yun from about 10-12 years back nga. It was actually a different definition. But ngayon, kailangan yung pakita, as I say, either you are British or you have settled status in the UK, o indefinite nga kayo. Plus on top of that, of course, andito nga kayo nakatira. Okay? So you would then be considered ordinarily resident in the United Kingdom. Now, this means also, that there are a number of categories of people nga who will be charged for treatment. Okay? So, kung hindi nga kayo British o hindi kayo indefinite leave to remain, pag-usapan natin, itabi muna nga natin the immigration health surcharge. So, sabihin natin, nandito kayo sa UK, wala kayong visa. You're overstayers, no? O nandito kayo as a visitor, no? You visitor visa. Or, indeed, you're here as a fiancé, okay? O proposed civil partner. So, you're looking to get married in the United Kingdom, may nangyari. No? That means you are not ordinarily resident in the UK. The reason being, you don't have settled status. No? Hindi nga kayo Briton, hindi nga din kayo, wala din kayo nga indefinite leave to remain. Now, that would mean na you would need to pay for your treatment. They will still treat you at the hospital, but they will bill you for it. No? Yun ang mangyayari. Now, which is, well, I suppose better than not getting treated nga, no? But do not be surprised if then you get billed. So far, no? Unang-una, what kind of treatment do you need? Do you need primary health care or do you need secondary health care? If it's primary, libre. Okay? If it's secondary, then you need to go into the next bit. Are you then ordinarily resident in the UK? Kung ang sagot ay yes, you are ordinarily resident in the UK. Again, libre. Kung hindi, dahil wala nga kayong visa o kaya visitor nga kayo dito or indeed fiancé nga kayo dito, no? Magpapakasal nga kayo dito, that means you would need to pay for secondary health care. Now, separate from that is something called IHS. Kung nagpasok nga kayong application, magpapasok nga kayo, you'll be familiar with this. No? IHS stands for Immigration Health Surcharge. Now, most applications, unless you're making an application for indefinite leave to remain or naturalization, you need to pay, so magbabayad nga kayong IHS, which is, if you're applying for, say, 2.5-year visa, is quite a big amount of a little over £2,600 kung magpapasok nga kayong 2.5-year visa. Now, a common misconception, again, is pagka nagbayad nga kayo, you're entitled to NHS care. Hindi po yung tama. Okay? Making the payment on its own does not entitle you to NHS care. No? Now, let me read to you again what the government website says about that. No? When can you start to use the NHS kung wala nga kayong indefinite leave to remain? Nandito nga kayo, sabihin natin, spouse visa kayo, o dito kayo nagtatrabaho, o dito kayo nag-aaral, no? So let's say nga, skilled worker nga kayo dito, or student visa, or indeed, say a spouse visa nga kayo. Now, they say here you can start using the NHS, the National Health Service, if you are if you've paid the immigration health surcharge, if you pay the healthcare surcharge, the IHS, okay, or are exempt from paying it. Some people are, but most will need to pay, and your visa or immigration application is granted. But there's again a condition to that, okay? So, una nga, nagbayad kayo. At saka, on top of that, may visa na nga kayo. So, sabihin natin, spouse visa nga kayo. Nagbayad na nga kayo, may visa kayo sa spouse. Can you use the NHS and effectively free of charge for secondary care? The answer is yes, okay? Which is good. Now, for a lot of my clients, though, because the home office are a bit slow with their dealing with applications nga at the moment, nagpasok na sila, may visa nga sila dati, no? Nagpasok kami ng application sa kanila, nag-iintay pa nga lang kami. Tapos tagal namin nag-iintay. Can you still access NHS? Kung may mangyari, kailangan yung secondary care. The answer is yes. The reason, if you can make use of what's called 3C leave. 3C is a provision under immigration rules. Ibig sabihin po ng 3C leave, may visa kayo dati. Nagpasok kayong application in time, no? So bago natapos nga, bago nag-expire yung visa nyo, and yung application is pending with the Home Office. And that, yung visa nyo nga, yung visa nyo pinasok nyo para sa extension, allows you to access NHS, no? So obviously, kung visitor visa nga kayo dati, then that does not allow you to access NHS because the 3C leave is, ibig sabihin idudugto nga. So same conditions that you had before. It does not give you additional rights. So if you can argue 3C leave, ibig sabihin kahit hindi pa nga tapos ang application nyo, you can access NHS care, which of course is good news, no? Now, NHS care, so sabihin natin ginamit yung hospital. Tapos may utang kayo, siningil nga kayo dahil hindi kayo entitled. Ano ba ibig sabihin nun? Okay? Now, it can have actually quite serious repercussions kung hindi yung bayaran. So let me just read to you again the NHS, the government website nga about how to deal with NHS debt. Okay? So sabi nila dito, owing a debt to the National Health Service is a ground for refusing applications for permission to enter or remain in the UK. So sabihin natin lumabas nga kayo, gusto nyo pumasok nga, bumalik nga dito, then they could refuse it dahil may utang kayo sa NHS. For charges incurred between the 1st of November 2011 through to the 5th of April 2016, an application should only be refused if the debt is £1,000 or more. Okay? So kung mababa, 999, if the debt was incurred between 2011 and 2016, then you would not result to automatic refusal. Okay? Now, if the charge was incurred after the 16th of April 2016, okay, which was not that long ago actually, an application should only be refused if the debt is £500 or more. I mean, it's more likely than not, no? Kung meron nga kayong utang sa hospital, it's more likely than not it's going to be more than £500 because medical treatment is quite expensive. So, ibig sabihin, you can be refused your application on its own, no? Kung ang dahilan nga lang is NHS debt. So sabihin natin may nagka-problema kayo immigration nga dito, no? You are spouse, no? Now you owe the hospital a debt. Sabihin natin nahulog kayo, you then had physio and they charge you, hindi nga kayo nagbayad. Umuwi kayo sa atin, no? Gusto nyo bumalik nga dito, nagpasok nga kayong application because you're now a spouse, you want to come into the United Kingdom. Kung meron kayong utang sa hospital, no, NHS debt ang tawag nga, and it's more than £500 because it was incurred after the 5th of April 2016 nga, they can refuse it just on that basis. Now, what worries me sometimes, and I've had this for some clients, is nagpasok kami ng application, no? Hindi nila alam na siningil nga sila, may utang sila sa hospital, either because they did not get it, or it went to because for whatever reason, no, or they didn't understand it. So sometimes nga mga kliyente ko lipat-lipat, no, hindi nila nakuha yung sulat. o sometimes hindi nila alam na may utang nga sila, walang nagsabi. At least to them, they don't actually remember anyone saying na sisingil nga sila o siningil nga sila. So it can be quite a surprise, and obviously very harrowing, no? To find out na actually may utang nga kayo. But sabihin natin alam nyo, o kung di kayo sigurado, you think meron kayong utang because you know you're not entitled to NHS care. Ang payo ko po, practical tip nga ito is, tanungin yung hospital, no? Dahil alam nyo, because kung meron nga kayong utang, ibig sabihin, you get a refusal, no? And it doesn't have to be na alam nyo. So, better to just make the inquiry. Ang payo ko nga din, kung meron kayong utang, bayaran nyo. Kung hindi nyo kaya, dahil napakalaki, then you can always try and agree with them payment by installment. Okay? And hospitals are usually quite good at allowing people to pay by installments if you can show na talagang hindi nyo nga kaya. No? So yun, it's kung may utang nga kayo, please deal with it because it can be, it will be a reason for refusal. Okay? Now, sabihin natin GPs. Now, this is something that happens quite a lot. Now, una nga, GPs, anyone, so this is again from the NHS website now, the government website. Sabi nila, let me just read that to you briefly. Anyone in England can register and consult with a GP without charge. Okay? An application to join a practice can only be refused if the practice has reasonable grounds for doing so. GP practices are not required to ask for proof of identity, address, or immigration status from patients wishing to register. Okay? NHS guidance on how to register with the GP surgery clearly outlines that a practice cannot refuse a patient because they do not have proof of address or immigration status. Okay? Where a patient applies to register with a GP practice and is turned down, the GP must still provide any immediate necessary treatment that's requested, so primary care, free of charge for up to 14 days. No, so if a practice refuses to register a patient, they must notify the applicant of the refusal and the reason for it in writing within 14 days of the decision. So, ang ibig sabihin, kung kahit wala nga kayong visa nga dito, they should still register you. And the main reason for not registering people is just because they're booked up. But just because wala nga kayong visa nga dito, hindi yung pwede. Hindi nga ibig sabihin na hindi kayo pwedeng i-register nga dito, no? So, again, marami akong makalayante, sabi nila sa akin, no, either natatakot sila mag-register nga sa GP o hindi nila kaya, no? Hindi na akala nila may bayad nga. I always say to them, no, kailangan nyo ng GP, and it's always a good idea to have GP, especially during the COVID, but not just that. So sabihin natin may mangyari nga sa inyo o kailangan nyo magpa-check up, it's always good nga to have a GP that you registered with dahil nandun nga yung details, yung detalye nyo. And emergencies, for example, you can be referred by your GP to the hospital. No? So tingnan nga natin, sample. So sabihin natin dumating nga kayo dito in relation to that 2 years ago. Okay? Natapos ang visa nyo, overstay na nga kayo dito, 6 months after entry. Can you still register with GP? Yes, you can. Okay? Now, overstay ka na kayo, can the GP register, refuse registration dahil wala nga kayong valid visa? No. Okay? So they should register you. Kung hindi nila gawin yon, then you can actually, they need to say to you why that is. It could just be, as I say, that they're completely booked up. A lot of NHS GPs, dentists especially, are quite busy and booked up. So other than that, they should not refuse your registration. So ang payo ko po, kung wala pa kayong GP, you should register. Huwag kayong matakot, no? And kung nandun nga kayo sa hospital, beware. Kung wala nga kayong visa, they will treat you free under the NHS if it's primary care, so GP nga, and accident, no? But otherwise, they will charge you. And kung siningling nga kayo, you should pay it no, the hospital bill, because otherwise it can result to refusal nga in future applications. Okay, so I mean, obviously it's one thing to be here, and I hope you enjoy good health, but that's not always the case. And alam natin, especially during the COVID times, that uh, uh, it costs not just illness, it costs actually lives. So it's importante po, no, look after your health. So it is you look after your health and look after yourselves, no? Because that's the main thing, no. It's riches are well and good, but if you don't have your health to enjoy it, then it's kind of it becomes life is not quite difficult then, no. Now I hope that's been useful to you, and yet you kind of enjoyed it. Speaking of enjoyment, of course, after our topic, it's our usual batian, no. So let's go. Let's launch into my favorite part ng show nga na. I mean, look, I enjoy everything. I mean, alam niyo naman, especially kung kilala niyo ako or mga kalayante ko, alam niyo, I enjoy talking. Probably too much. Or I'm told that I enjoy talking too much. But for our show,